Good morning, everyone. Hope we're all doing well. What a heartbreaking result that was yesterday against the Swans at Marvel Stadium at 1:05 p.m. Boy, to be the better side for majority of the game and then to sort of cough it up like that, yikes. It's happened again. Now, but you can't really say the boys haven't learned from it. They did, but God knows what happened in that last 10 minutes, except Sydney's pressure went to the next level. Anyway, before I go into the analysis of yesterday's result, I'd like to introduce you all to our tutoring school. It's called the Roki School of Excellence, as you can see in that logo. It's an academic tutoring school founded by my wife and I that offers group and individual classes for years 5 to 12 mathematics across all year levels, except specialist maths, as well as in jazz drumming, octopad, which is electronic percussion instrument, and South Indian classical drums. So enrollments are open throughout the year. If you know of any loved ones or anyone else who might be interested, please ask them to contact us. My wife looks after the enrollment and admin side of things, and I look after the teaching syllabus and fee side of things. Okay, so please jump on board. Alrighty, on to the final result, hey? On to the final result. So as we can see here, final score, Sydney 16-11, 107 to St Kilda 13-10, 88. I really thought the game was really on St. Although it was pretty neck to neck till halftime, you would think when Caminiti kicked that goal in the third quarter, they're up by 4 goals. It's just a matter of, okay, surely we can't be dropping this, and we have learnt. But when we were up by 10 points with a Max Hall goal and Will Edwards from Sydney went down, I know the boys had a quick huddle with Ross Lyon, but really what happened in that last 5 to 10 minutes of play, God knows. I know the umpiring wasn't great, but I don't know if we went into our shells a little bit, because Sydney, all they had to do was they just had to play a small patch of good footy to take the game away. That's what good sides have done to St Kilda. Okay? One of the ways for us to take a scalp is not only to beat the good sides, but to do that, to beat sides above us on the ladder, we need to be closing out these games. We've done it against sides around us and below us, like North Melbourne, Carlton and all, but not against these sides. That's why it's been well documented why we haven't taken a scalp against good sides or sides above us on the ladder. Yes, there was a golden chance. I know James Rowbottom went down with an injury. They had Will Edwards, so they kind of had their backs to the wall, but as good sides do, they found a way. And like I said, they didn't play perfect football. They didn't play 4 quarters at all, Sydney. We almost did, but we couldn't quite get it done. And it's been quite a trend for quite some time, and I really hope Ross has a good address of that, because our next game is against Carlton, who had a thumping win against Brisbane last night. Gee whiz, if any one of you told me earlier this year, Rohit, that would be a dead rubber game, it won't mean anything, I wouldn't have picked that. I wouldn't even have picked that. Or actually, I would have believed that. And if they said, no, that'll be a crucial game for your finals, I wouldn't have picked that at the start of the year. But fast forward a couple of months later, here we are. They thumped Brisbane in an upset. Nobody gave them a chance. And that, sadly, with St Kilda's loss, that 10th position is slightly open now. Although laptop just froze for a sec, sorry about that. Okay, yeah, it's really gut wrenching, the result, no doubt. It happened again, and it opens that 10th spot marginally. Although St Kilda, after Carlton game, we have Richmond and Gold Coast sides below us. Carlton on the other hand have sides above us, Bulldogs and Freo, so it becomes tougher for them. But then it was meant to be tougher than last night. But what happened? They had 16 goal kickers and they put Brisbane to the sword. So yeah, massive game, and look, it's like a final now. Feels more like a final. It's in our own hands. I'm not saying we should have thrashed Sydney yesterday, although that would have been lovely. But really, we had a good chance to at least get the 4 points. Given that our intensity was excellent, we were on. And sadly, that's what it ended up being. Sorry about that. I've been having issues with the laptop. So, I want to get straight into my talking points. First one, okay. The first point I want to mention is same heartbreaking result like last time against Sydney. For those who don't remember, on King's birthday this year, Saints were the better side, but lost it with 24 seconds to go in the last quarter when Jai Sarong broke our hearts and put that goal, and they held on to win by 1 or 2 points. So our last 3 encounters have been really painful in that regard. It shaped our season one way or the other, but not this particular encounter, but the last 2 especially. Number 2, we were the better side for 3 quarters. Absolutely we were. The margin may have not reflected. Just bear with me for a sec, just getting this charged. Just bear with me, sorry. Perfect. Sorry about that. Yep, all sorted. So yeah, we were the better side, but we just couldn't close it out. We've done it against sides around us and below us in the ladder, but we haven't been quite doing it against sides above us. That's why it's been well documented we've not taken a scalp this season. Yesterday was a chance, but we didn't do it. Number 3, this is huge. Good sides like Sydney, they didn't have to play 4 quarters. They just needed to play a small patch of aggressive footy, especially that last quarter to take the game away from us. Yeah, absolutely. That's all they had to do, guys. They were not perfect. If you tell Chad Ward and Isaac Heaney you were 10 out of 10 yesterday, they'll probably have a laugh. They'll probably tell we were 10 out of 10 in the last quarter, but not really in the first 3. We knew we were better than that, but they got the chocolates done. And again, it reminded me of the Brisbane game earlier this year, where we were on level with them the last quarter, and they just had a dominant 10 minutes of play, and they won by 33 points. So we have to work on those areas badly, okay? Number 4, we need to continue to close out games against good opposition. So yeah, we've got to be able to do that, okay? That's a work in progress, but if we want to be taken more seriously than we are now, That's a huge area to tick. Okay. Number 5, a loss has sadly but slightly opened the 10th spot up for grabs, especially with GWS and Carlton winning. I know they have harder fixtures in the next few weeks, more so Carlton after the St Kilda game next week, but it has opened it a bit. We have no choice. We just have to go all out guns blazing and close these games out, because these are teams, except Carlton, who are now on 10. Richmond and Gold Coast are well below us in the ladder. They're not going to be playing final, so we really got to, no excuses, got to get the chocolates, okay? The plus point is we have very good percentage compared to Carlton GWS. So that's what gives us the edge, but we need to close it with a victory. Even if we marginally beat Carlton next week, we go back 10, then we get that momentum. Number 6, next week versus Carlton is more than a finals type game. Like I said earlier, guys, if you told me earlier this year, Rohit, that would be a huge game to determine your season, I wouldn't have picked that. I would have probably said it would be a dead rubber by then, but here we are. Here we are, guys. I know our encounters against Carlton in recent times have been good, but they're a different side under Josh Fraser. They've barely lost many games. So we've got to turn up from the start. Treat it like yesterday's game, but that last quarter, please, guys, take it seriously. Don't go into your shells, not against Carlton. We come away with the win, and that is it. That's all we have to do. Okay, guys, I'll leave it there. Please comment your thoughts and hit the subscribe channel to this video, or hit the subscribe button to this channel. The more subscribers, the better. Next video will be previewing the Carlton game. Till then, take care, stay safe, and go Saints. See you guys. Bye-bye.